Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me here today, guys. I hope you're all having a great week. There's been some big news released from Pokemon regarding Mega Evolutions. That's been all going on in the background, but I have to bring you back to the Pokemon Center because it's interesting to see we've got some things back in stock. So, if you see my last video about the US versus the UK market, you would have seen that Paradox and Temporal are both back in stock on the Pokemon Center UK. It's gotten to be in America because you don't get any of stuff like this. This is all sold out in America. So we're very fortunate in the UK that we get a smaller market in general. Less people buying products in the UK, just population wise, and that gives us an opportunity to make longer plays. We don't have to sort of rush into things as much in the UK. You can sort of try and take your time in comparison to the US. Obviously, the market's the market is being crazy right now. I'm not expecting Prismatic or Destin Rivals to stay in stock, but it's nice to see booster boxes at MSRP. It's not going to stay around forever, guys. These are going to sell out at some point, and we just have to make the most of it. When you see opportunity, just try and pounce on it. So that is exactly what I've done. I have gone ahead and I've picked up one more of each of these booster boxes, just one. uh as money comes in, try and pick these things up, guys, because they will go up in value at some point in time, right? Then most of the time booster boxes go up in value. There's never, not one time in the history of Pokemon, a booster box has not gone up in value eventually. So that is my thesis. That is the thesis of buying booster boxes. They're a premium item right now in the Pokemon space, guys. Premium. That means they have an attachment of 10 plus 20% of premium because they are rare to get. Pokemon don't just print booster boxes anymore like they did in a few eras ago, a few decades ago. They print a lot more different products, which means they're stretched thin. They obviously print more booster boxes today than they did, but in comparison to other products, the ratio is definitely gone down, guys. These are premium products for sure. So that is my sort of thesis on why I've picked up more of these two products. But in regards to what they're doing in America, let's take a quick look, shall we? So Paradox, probably my favorite of the two, although the special illustration rares in Temporal seem to be holding up pretty decent in terms of value. But Paradox is definitely my strong favorite. I love the Groudon. I think that's a great chase. I know it's an illustration and not a special, but it's still up there for me. It still packs the punch, and I still think they could bring out a Kyogre at some point. I don't know when, but they go hand in hand. So I think that will drive demand in the future. But right now in America, obviously market price is $217. But what does that correspond to in the UK? That's 160, right? So we're 20 in the UK. We're about 20 pounds below market in terms of US market. We're 20 pounds below US market right now. It's obviously had a big run. I was picking I've already got two Paradox, so this would be my third booster box I picked up for Paradox. You could have been picking these up for $100 in the UK. They were selling them for £100 easy. So that's where I picked my two up at a card show. I picked them up for 100 a pop back in, I think, October or November, somewhere around there. And obviously now Pokemon's just gone on this monster run. It's just been dragged up with the whole hobby. So that is what's been going on with Paradox. I mean, 116% is nothing to scoff at, guys. It is a great return for a set that people find mediocre in the Scarlet and Violet block. Um, I still think it's on the higher end, and in terms of investment, I still think it's a great call, especially at MSRP, guys. Just remember, there's not many things you can get at MSRP right now. The market is very hot, so it's in my opinion, it's a pickup all day right now. But yeah, it's 116%, very impressive, guys. Very impressive stuff from Paradox. Let's take a look at Temporal. It's going for a little more, 228 market price. It's come down from the 249 slightly, but obviously most recent sale 220. There's probably some listed higher. Yeah, so the highest sale was probably 250, probably recently. Let's take a look. Yeah, 235. So a bit more sales there. But those some of those were loose. But let's see what that corresponds to. 228. That's 170. So we're talking pushing 30 above market in the US compared to the UK. When you look at stuff like that, guys, it's interesting. It's so interesting to see the imbalance of money, population, demand. All these factors come into price, and it's not just about having the product. It's where you have the product in the world, where it's valuable. You know, water is more valuable in the desert and all that. So it's interesting to see that sort of play true in US market is a lot hotter. That's where the money capital pretty much of the world is. London's obviously up there, but yeah, the money is definitely flowing in America. They definitely have a big market over there. But in terms of set, guys, if just to remind you what's in these sets, obviously we have the Raging Bolt, Iron Crown trios, Iron Leaves, Walking Wake, Gouge and Fire. But we've also got a little cheeky Gengar line in Temporal going for it. We've got the Ghastly Gengar EX, Morty's Conviction strong in the foreground there. Um, but we've also got the Dealin Swordsback. That's a great duo. Those were spiking in price not long ago. I love the Metagross. That's why I think Tempole's really growing on me. I think it's deeper in terms of stuff I'd want to pick up, sort of deeper into the set. Erie, I love, absolutely love gorgeous art because I love the Lucario in the background, my favorite there. So it's Arbok is also a great art. Dramper and Grottle. I love it all. What I don't love actually is like the Rage and Walking Away. I'm trying to adjust. Obviously, people that have been in the hobby and known Pokemon for a long time, when they do sort of a revamp, it's hard to get behind unless the artwork is there and desirable. I think everyone right now in the space would much rather the original of all of them. But you know, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the market thinks and what the future, the younger generation think of these Pokemon. And I think that if they're growing up with them, they're not going to see them sort of any different than what a normal person would see an Entei, for example, instead of Gouge and Fire. So I think definitely long term, it's got a lot going for it, as well as Paradox. So I'm sort of stuck between which one's better. They're very on par, guys. They're very on par. The Chinchino there is looking cool. But on to Paradox. Let's remind you about Paradox. Groudon, definitely the better chase, which is very important when you come to value in sets. In my opinion, definitely the better chase card out of the two sets, right? Hands down, okay? Nope, I don't think anyone is arguing on that one. But Roaring Moon and Altaria are very cool. Prefer the Altaria EX. Another great card reminds me of the oh, what's the one from Lost Origins? Aerodactyl flying over the dinosaurs down below. But Altaria, stunning card again. Garchomp is also there. Kind of looks like a full art to me. I wish they did a better SIR for Garchomp. They really missed the mark on that one, but made up for it in Destined Rivals a little bit. Yeah, you got Iron Valiant, Steelix, yeah, Minim. Morpeko is a big one for this set. I mean, it goes deep, guys. It really does go deep. Loudred's very cool artwork. I also think the Magby could do well long term. Swablu as well if you're picking up the line. But again, it's pretty deep. Snorunt, it's pretty deep as a set. Same as Temporal. It just keeps going. It just really does keep going. So I see a lot of value. You just got to think what happens when all of these cards just go up by $5 because or £5 just to get £5 more expensive. That's a big movement in terms of set value. Yeah, the Brute Bonnet there, great artwork, great artwork. We all love that artist for sure. I can't remember his name, but I love the artist that does those cards. But yeah, like I say, I think it's a no-brainer right now, especially because they are at or near the end of their print run, guys. And the main point of investing all of this is scarcity, right? You gotta find scarcity at the right time. That is the opportunity, and that is where the sort of return is. The scarcity part is that is coming to the end of its print window, right? It's almost there for both of them. Okay. And when that happens, Pokemon stop printing, and then obviously what's out there is out there, and they start to slowly climb as people pick these products up over time. When Pokemon Center sells out, you normally get a spike. So that is normally what happens. It was very, very true of Brilliant Stars and Fusion Strike. If you don't believe me, guys, please go back to my videos where I used to talk about Fusion Strike right at the start of my channel. It literally went out of stock the week after, and then you've seen what Fusion Strike has done. It's not probably not going to do that. Fusion Strike is a better set, but it's very reminiscent. It's very similar, same sort of feelings going. Like they've come out of stock. They've come back in on stock. Sorry, they were out of stock for a while in the UK. They've come back in. They've been restocked. I don't think it's a reprint. It's most likely just a restock. They had extra pallets lying around, maybe from a different warehouse, got shipped over to the UK. But it's very interesting. Okay, all of this is very interesting. So yeah, keep an eye out, guys. If you want to pick those up. I'm not gonna say don't. But especially, I wouldn't blame you if you're prioritizing, guys. It's very hard in this market right now to prioritize. You got Destin, Prismatic, two massive sets everyone should be picking up right now. You've obviously got the new sets, Mega Evolutions. You've got Black Bolt as well, White Flare. There are two sets you should be picking up right now. The deepest sets, arguably in Pokemon history. Massive set of illustration rares. All of them are going to perform like really probably I might what in terms of performance illustration rares they'll probably have the highest percent return on sort of the set because how deep it is. Prismatic is very deep as well, which is why I think it's going to do well. There's normally a strong correlation between amount of illustration rares, SIRs to price movement. That was very reminiscent in Sword and Shield. Obviously, Evolving Skies did really well. Chill and Rain, Fusion Strike, the higher number of alt arts there were that normally they did better. But yeah, I mean, going forward, guys, they could be out of stock very soon. So if you want them, now is the time, right? You're not going to get them for cheaper than MSRP, not in this market, not for another, especially when they're coming to the end of their print window, right? If you guys are thinking you might pick them up cheaper, it's not going to be much cheaper if you do pick them up. It will be on a bulk discount most likely. So if you are going to pick them up, I'd say strongly suggest now is the time. It's not financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. So with that, guys, I hope you've had a good time watching this content because I'm always trying to provide value for you guys. If you like this sort of content though, make sure you leave a like and comment down below. I always like to hear your guys' feedback and opinion. But with that, guys, I really hope to catch you in the next one. I'll see you in a bit.